all had a lovely week. I wonder if you can remember what we were looking at Junior Church last week. Maybe tell the people you're with what were we looking at, what book are we looking at for the next few weeks at church. So we're looking at the book of John, and last week we looked at the story of Jesus turning water into wine. And I've got my little craft here where Jesus turned water into wine. I loved seeing some of your crafts, and we're going to have a little look at some of them now.
Jesus, you're the hero, you're the only one who saves. Jesus, you're the hero, there is power in your name.
Go down and up, smile.
So the question I have for you this week is, who has authority? Now, authority is maybe a tricky word. If someone has authority, it means they're in charge. They're allowed to make decisions and tell people what to do, and we should listen to them. I'm going to show you now a few pictures of people who have authority, and I want you to have a little look at these pictures and say, who are they, and maybe why do they have authority?
God is bigger, God is stronger than anything that could ever go wrong. God is faithful, God is loving, working in us to make us like His Son.
So these people have authority because of the jobs that they do mostly. It means they're in charge. They're allowed to tell us what to do, and we should listen to them. Now, in today's story, we see Jesus getting quite upset and telling people off, telling them what they should do. And some of the Jewish people come to Jesus and say, well, how do we know you have authority? Prove to us that you're allowed to tell us off. Prove to us that you're allowed to tell us what to do. Why should we listen to you? And we're going to have a little listen at the story, and I want you to listen carefully and see if you can spot what was Jesus's answer. How did Jesus say they could know that he has authority? So let's have a little listen and a watch of the story now. It was almost time for the Passover festival, so Jesus went to Jerusalem. There in the temple he found people selling cattle, sheep and pigeons, and also the money changers sitting at their tables. So he made a whip from cords and drove all the animals out of the temple, both the sheep and the cattle. He overturned the tables of the money changers and scattered their coins, and he ordered those who sold the birds,
"Take them out of here. Stop making my Father's house a marketplace."
His disciples remembered that the scripture says, "My devotion to your house, O God, burns in me like a fire." The Jewish authorities came back at him with a question.
What miracle can you do?
Tear down this temple, and in 3 days I will build it again.
Are you going to build it again in 3 days? It took 46 years to build this temple.
But the temple Jesus was speaking about was his body. So when he was raised from death, his disciples remembered that he had said this, and they believed the scripture and what Jesus had said. So did you spot what Jesus says, what he says he would do to prove that he has authority? Just in case you didn't, I'm going to read that little bit again to you now. Jesus said, "Tear down this temple, and in 3 days I will build it again." Jesus says that they can know he has authority because he is going to do something that only God could do. Now, Jesus isn't talking about a building here. He is talking about dying on the cross and coming back from the dead 3 days later. And this is how we can know for sure that Jesus has authority, that he is God, and that we should listen to him and do what he says. We can know this because he died and came back to life 3 days later. And hopefully you guys are going to go and have a little bit more of a think about this now. Send me in your pictures and I will see you soon. Bye.